video. Today is my October wrap up and my November TBR. I think I'm having a hard time saying these words because I just don't believe that it's this late in the year yet. Like, I feel like I just made this channel and now it's the end of the year, so okay, which is weird. This month so far, because this video is going to come to you in two parts. First, of what I've read now, because I have books that are due at the library soon, so I'm going to film the first part of this, and then I think I'm going to finish 2 books by the end of this week, and then I will show you the rest of the books. So as of now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books to show you that I've finished. And then future Gabby will come to you and show you the books that she is going to be reading next month, and the books that I will have finished this week. I hope that's not confusing, because I think I just confused myself in words. Oh well, you'll just have to see what happens. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you the books that I have read this far in October. The first book that I finished this month was for school, and it was Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. This book was unlike anything that I've ever read. It was probably one of my favorite books that I read for school. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's very enlightening and very philosophical, and I like to think of myself as a very philosophical person. So I read this and it really enlightened me, and I thought that it was really, really good. I loved the story. No, that's a lie. I did not like the story that much, but I loved the story behind the story, the symbolism behind the story, if that makes sense. I gave Siddhartha 4 out of 5 stars, and I really think that if you like philosophical things, you might want to pick this book up. Then I read Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. Guys, why didn't I read this sooner? I love Stephanie Perkins, and I just cannot explain how much I loved Lola and the Boy Next Door. I don't know if I liked it as much as Anna, but I did like Lola's character better than Anna. So I think I liked Anna's story just a little bit more, but I loved Lola. I don't even know if I can say that I loved Anna better than... Nope, I think they're equal. I loved it so much, and I cannot wait for Isla. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. Then I read A Little Piece of Sky by Nicole Bailey Williams. I read this for my drama class because these chapters are super small, and a little piece of it is going to be what I do for drama competition, so I wanted to read the book so I could get in touch with the character. I ended up giving it a 2 out of 5 stars. I just felt like the main character... I don't even know how to explain it. The main character was very, very denoting towards other African American people, and she is an African American person, and I really, 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 really tried to look at it as in she came from a really hard place, and a whole bunch of stuff had happened to her with other African American people, so she always tried to push them away. But the way that she would, it just... and the writing was not my favorite, and it was not my favorite, so yeah, 2 out of 5 stars, yeah. Then I read The Play Beyond Therapy by Christopher Durang. Also for my drama class, we have to read a play a month, and I gave this one a 2 stars too. I felt like the characters were very... I don't even know how to explain it. They were very rude and not... I don't even know. They were just... How do I put this into words, Gabby? You're a booktuber. You're supposed to know how to do this. I did not like the characters. I felt like one of the female characters was very homophobic, and the guy who was bisexual in the thing was homophobic towards other gay people as well, and I was just like, reading it, kind of shocked how bad this was, and like they did it in a way that made it funny. Well, it's supposed to be funny, but to me it wasn't funny at all, and I was just sitting there like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I didn't like this one either. Drama class is going good. And I read Sarah Dessen's Someone Like You, and this is the second Sarah Dessen book that I've ever read, and it wasn't my favorite. I ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. I felt like the main character I couldn't connect with her, and I felt like a lot happened that didn't necessarily need to happen, or not enough happened in the time that we had, and I just couldn't I hope that I'm reading her books in publication order, so I'm hoping that they get better as we go, because I met her and she's super, super sweet, and I want to like her books, but the ones that I think I'm going to like are in her later publication, so hopefully I will like the rest of them. But this one, 3 stars. The book I read in my car this month, or listened to in my car, was The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I had no intention of ever reading these books because I was so familiar with the movie and I thought it would just be a repeat, but guys, I have to read the rest of the series now. I'm attached. I loved it. I loved it so much. Oh, I can't even explain it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The characters were so amazing. The voice actor was awesome. And I have to get the next book. I can't. This is what happens when you randomly pick something at the library. You fall in love with it. Yay! Then I read The Selection by Kiera for my school book club, and I really enjoyed it. I have a confession, and that is I really love The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I haven't watched it in a really long time, but they're like my secret pleasure. I don't know, guilty pleasure. I'm not really guilty though, so they're my pleasure. Yes, and this was just like that, but on like dystopian, and that mixture really did well with me. I loved it. I really liked America as a character. I felt like she was very independent and she knew what she wanted, and I'm excited to read the next book, but I've heard interesting things about the next book, so I'm kind of afraid at the same time. Gave this a 4 out of 5. If you haven't read this, it's a good one, especially if you like stuff like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Then came The Titan's Curse by Riordan. I've been reading this for like over a month and a half, and this was not my favorite of the series. I think that I gave it 3 stars. I was kind of thinking between a 2.5 and a 3 stars. The first book, I really liked Percy's young type of voice that he has in the books, but I felt like now it's starting to get a little annoying and redundant, and I'm just like, okay, Percy, okay. So, but I'm waiting for romance. I'm waiting very impatiently for romance, because people have promised me romance, and I don't even know if that starts in the next series, but I want to read the next series because everyone's freaking out about it, and I feel left out. But I have to finish this first. Right now, this is just I know, I'm a bad person. Very bad. Then for school, I read Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. This is a reread. I read it a couple of summers ago because I thought it would be fun. I don't know why I did that. But this wasn't my favorite book in the first place, and then I read it again, and I'm glad that I read it again because I understand a lot more now. But it still wasn't my favorite. I felt like the first 2 parts of this book kind of drag along, and then the third part's like, must read. And so, I don't know. I gave it a 3 still, but I don't know. I guess I learned something from reading it, but it's not like it's the best book in the world. So yeah. So now we will see if I read any other books. If not, here's my TBR. I know we just went from super not amazing but super good for me light quality to super crappy light quality, but it's been about 2 weeks since I shot the previous video that you guys saw like seconds ago, and the lighting has been super bad, so we're just gonna have to go with this. I apologize in advance. So I ended up finishing 2 more books that week. First, I finished Heartbeat by Elizabeth Scott, which is a book that is coming out in February. I think they changed the date to January, and it's about this girl whose mother is like, she's brain dead, and her stepdad is keeping her alive so then the baby inside her can be alive. So she's pretty much an incubator, and the main character Emma has to go through that, and we see what kind of happens to her. And I thought I would like this book a little bit more. It wasn't my favorite. I got it as an arc from Harlequin. Thank you so much, Harlequin, but it wasn't my favorite. I thought more would happen in the book. There was a lot of I felt like the book should have just gone a bit faster because of the main character. I don't want to give any spoilers out because this is a fairly new book, but I think that if you read this, you just have to be able to look at it from the character's perspective and not think of her as whiny, but I still kind of thought of her as whiny, so I gave this a 3.5, I believe, and yeah. Then I finished Fracture by Megan Miranda. I really like this book. Megan Miranda is probably the perfect amount of thriller / horror for me because any further would probably freak me out of my mind. I love this book. It's about a girl named Delaney, and she falls through the ice and is there for 11 minutes, but she wakes up and we kind of figure out what happens. I've read another book by Megan Miranda, which was Hysteria, and I really liked that book, and I think I like that one a bit better, but I like the way that Fracture was written a lot better, and it was just a really great story. I loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Now onto my TBR, which we're already like halfway through November. We'll see what day it is when I upload this, but I will be showing you the books that I have already started and in the middle of, and the books that I plan on reading hopefully this month. I'm in the middle of Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I'm like right there. I hope you can see it through my bookmark, but I really like it, but I'm going to have, this is probably going to go on the back burner for now because this book is due back to the library today, but I'm waiting for my school library to get it back in so that I can turn this one back in, and so it's going to be put on. I'm only like 48 pages in, so I'm really liking it though, and I hope that I can continue with more of it this month. I'm reading How Zoe Made Her Dreams Mostly Come True by Sarah Strodemeyer. I'm about that much in. I thought it would be a bit better than what it is right now. I'm still waiting for things to happen, so I don't know. I'm like 75 pages in, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm also reading Artichoke Heart by Suzanne Supley. I'm not that far in any of these books, guys. It's really kind of bad, but I'm liking this a lot. I love the character's voice and just school time, not having enough time. I'm also reading this big old book of poetry by Charles Bukowski, The Pleasure of the Damned, poems from 1951 to 1993. Look at that big ol' hunk of book. It is like 570 pages. 530 pages. I've never read a book of poetry this big before. I don't even think I've read a book of poetry. I've always just read poetry from school. And I'm reading this because my friend that I'm modeling my book after, read this last year and she really enjoyed it, so I wanted to see a little bit into her head. So for character development for NaNoWriMo, which I'm also doing this month, so I'm reading this very, very, very slowly. I'm going to be starting actually today Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson, which is the book that I'm reading with my school book club right now. I'm not even started in it, but I read the first page and it sounds really, really good. I didn't even realize how good Tiger Lily's voice was going to be, but I really enjoyed that book, the beginning, not the book. I'm tired. Hopefully I will be getting to Gathering Blue by Lois Lowry, the second book in the Giver series. I loved the first one and I just want to continue. Hopefully I will be able to get to How to Ruin a Summer Vacation and How to Ruin My Teenage Life both by Simone Eccles. I have no idea which one is first, but hopefully I'll be able to get through both of these so then I can read the last one of this series, and then I will be going on to Wild Cards, but probably not until December. Shh, we're not going to go into our December TBR yet, Gabby. How to Love by Katie Coutigno. I know this was not supposed to be on my TBR, but it was in the new book section at my library, and new book sections really bug me, and me and my friend have this first line test that if the first line of the book is awesome, we get it, and the first line, I can't tell you the first line because I don't want any copyright or anything. The first line of this book, yeah, it was really good. Those are all the books that I have planned out that I have with me. I'm also going to be reading Ruby Red. I can't remember the author's name, I'm sorry, but it's a time travel book, and my friend has that copy right now, but I will be reading it this month, and that is all I have planned for this month. I am so bad right now, guys. Seriously, I have only been uploading like 2 videos a month, and I was hoping to do 1 a week, and I'm just really bad with it, and I apologize for not being able to do that, but really school has been really, really frustrating recently, so when it comes to school or YouTube, I kind of have to put YouTube on the back burner, but I will be having a break coming up soon for Thanksgiving, so I will be pre-recording as many videos as I can. I know pre-recorded videos are not the best, but hopefully I'm so backed up on tags and discussion videos, you have no idea. So I will film those for you guys. Also, I want to thank you, all the new subscribers. I have so many of you, and I have no idea where you came from. If someone sent you, please tell me so that I can thank them, and I just want to thank you all for being here. You are loved, every single one of you, and I hope that you have a wonderful booktastic day. That's all I have for you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!